And welcome back to the final episode of Season 3 of the California Only Challenge, where we're starting off with a little bit of some positives. Last episode, at the very end, we had an injury, not necessarily positive, to Lewis Marshall, who was our slot corner. Because of that, rookie Jabari Lowell came in, and he ended up getting 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown, which gave him Player of the Week for Defense AFC or AFC Defense. So, fantastic for our rookie. He, as well as many other young guys, have been put in to the starting rotation, basically, to finish out this season, which we will be doing today. Obviously, to this point, the season has not gone very well. The previous 2 seasons were better at this point than where we are now, sitting at 1-7. We have the game against the Raiders, who are currently 5-3. We're not going to watch that game. We have the bye in Week 10, and then the Broncos Week 11 we will watch a bit of after we do some of the scouting special, I guess you could say. We'll go through all the available guys, take a look at them. I'll show you the important ones and the ones that aren't looking that good. We just won't talk about them. But today we'll start with basically simming through this first week till we get to basically the scouting part, which I always do Week 10, because you have to choose some specific players to bring in focus scouting or whatever for Week 11. So we'll go through the players, and then we'll get into the first game. And once again, against the Raiders, we came close, but just not close enough. We put points up in the first, third, and fourth quarter, but nothing in the second comes back to bite us as we end up dropping this game 28-21. And with the new rotation of guys in, we're not going to bother looking at what the Raiders did. Davis Mills throws 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I had said previously we're not quite sure if Davis Mills would finish out the rest of this season. At this point, it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense to start an undrafted rookie who is like 57 overall. Davis Mills will most likely become our backup, so we'll just let him continue to try to get better. But yeah, he goes for a little over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, only sacked once, which is not too bad. Christian McCaffrey rushes for over 100 and a touchdown. Not much down the line. And then receiving, Junior Generals gets another touchdown, so we know for sure he's had more touchdowns, this year than he did last year. 4 catches, 76 yards. Jelani Rucker was starting to play in the slot. He got 56 yards on 3 catches. McCaffrey 39 on 3. Will Tobias is now playing one of the outside receiver spots opposite side of Junior Generals. He got 31 yards off of 4 catches. And then Dalton Schultz found his way into the end zone on 3 catches for 12 yards. Blocking up front, DeCastro should be back next game. Andre James gave up our 1 allowed sack. Defense, Bobby Okereke and Fabian Monroe led us in tackles. Tackles for loss go to Nathan Gregory, Roman Hightower, who's now playing DT/nose tackle. And then Dakota Coleman, who's playing left end instead of Solomon Thomas. They all get the tackles for loss. Sacks goes 1 to Nathan Gregory. And we did have at least 1 INT to Bobby Okereke. And then in terms of forced fumbles, we did not have any. Kicking wise, 3 of 3 for extra points, and we did not attempt a single field goal. So Jake Bailey, again, still doing really good in sim. And as we start to prep for the offseason, we'll go through some of these players, most of these players. We'll see how many we end up talking about. But obviously, the main guy that I think we're all really wanting, and hopefully he ends up being really good, is Dontrell Northrup, quarterback out of USC, 6'6", 228 pounds, 22 years old. He has great to elite throw power. Says decent to solid speed. We'll see what that actually ends up being. He might just be a pocket quarterback. When we look here, we have B, break sack. D, injury is concerning. D, juke move. B, play action, but A, throw accuracy mid. So should start with some really good accuracy in the mid. We don't know the rest. He is 100% going to be one of the focused players for us in Week 11. And in terms of draftable running backs, which again, we don't really need, but there is Tony McCullum, 5'11", 204, 23 years old out of Stanford. There are 5 available Stanford running backs that you could draft. Now, McCollum does not have much speed, but he has some change of direction. I'm hoping he's maybe a power back with a B break tackle and B spec catch. It's interesting. But again, we don't really need a running back. Now, at receiver, there are two first to second round guys, which we could definitely possibly look to bring in. First one being Will Callaway, 6'2", 199, 22 years old, out of USC. From the physical standpoint, has some speed, pretty good agility and acceleration, with okay strength. Kind of get a Thielen vibe from that. We know he has actually really good ball carrier vision, really good spec catch, both of those being A. C release, with not much in terms of a juke move or break tackle. We don't know anything about the route running, which is unfortunate, but still probably better than some of the guys that we have on roster currently. The other option that we have is Marion Hobbs, 6'4", 217, 23 years old, out of Fresno State. His physicals, has speed, really strong, has jumping, change of direction, bit of agility and acceleration as well. And in terms of skills, he has B spec catch, but we do know he has D medium route running and C short route running. We don't know release or deep route running, or the rest of the catch and traffic is C. So a step down from Callaway, but still could possibly bring him in. I'm thinking maybe a third round pick for him, maybe late second. There is a round 1 to 2 tackle, and that is Taylor Clean, 6'8", 322, 22 years old, out of UCLA. And he has some strength, but not super strong, but he's pretty quick, has some good change of direction, agility, and acceleration. So definitely seems like a finesse guy, but the ratings, or assumed ratings, don't quite match that. B awareness, B impact block, B run block power, but D lead blocking and D pass block finesse. So he doesn't necessarily from that fit at a guard spot with D lead block, but pass block is also, or pass block finesse is also a D. So he's an interesting guy who I think we could definitely have as the second focus guy to learn a little bit more about. Over on the defensive line, I know there's a left end, and then there's some day 3 defensive tackles. So not a whole lot to possibly do up front if we do want to attack this spot again. Spencer Wallace is the round 1, 6'4", 304, 22 years old, out of USC. He has some strength, has good change of direction, agility, and acceleration. In terms of his skills that we know of so far, B awareness, B power moves, B finesse moves, B hit power, and A pursuit. Solomon Thomas is getting older, will be 29 after this season, could start to regress. We could look to go ahead and possibly bring someone in to either replace him this next season or get to that point. Obviously, the second season of this series, Solomon Thomas had a fantastic year, went to the Pro Bowl. I don't think he's followed it up with quite as good of a year. So regression might already be in place for Solomon Thomas, which is a bit unfortunate. At linebacker, middle linebacker, there is Radarius Carrington, who's a projected round 2 to 3. He is 6'1", 238, 22 years old, out of USC. Physicals, has strength, speed, can jump, can change direction, has agility and acceleration. Great athletic looking linebacker. B awareness, B play rec. He's smart. B finesse moves, B pursuit, A hit power. Looking really good. Oh, and my remote just died, so let me switch remotes. And we're back. But yeah, looks like a really good looking running back. Martinez is getting up in age. I believe he'll be 28 or 29 next season. So obviously we brought in some backups. They're not necessarily to that spot yet that they could take over for Martinez. Carrington possibly could. Not quite sure. He's definitely a candidate for either the focus scouting or for a off-season workout. At right outside linebacker, we know all the information, and actually the top guy who was a top 5 is actually around 2 to 3. And then the 2 to 3 guy is actually around 1 to 2. So really good that we had our scout at the right outside linebacker position to find this out. So Isaiah Spain is the guy that dropped. He's 6'5", 255, 22 years old, out of USC. Physicals, really strong, not very fast, but can change direction and can get up to his top speed pretty quickly, which, again, still it's not very high. But he actually looks like he has some pretty decent ratings. So I would think maybe an early second round or to mid-second round with B awareness, B injury, B tackle, solid. He has A block shedding, B finesse moves, A play rec, B power moves. And this guy still looks really good. We have Tack McKinley starting at one of the outside linebacker spots. If Isaiah Spain drops as far as it is suggesting, we could definitely pick him up. However, if both Isaiah Spain and Quincy Shepard are available at the same time, that might make things a little interesting. Shepard is 6 foot, 227, 22 years old, out of Stanford. However, I see A-zone coverage, so they are not the same style of linebacker. With Shepard, we see elite to great across the board except for strength, which is solid to good, which is still pretty good. And we see A awareness, B play rec, B man coverage, A zone coverage with B tackle, C block shedding. He's an inside linebacker. Honestly, if we could draft him and maybe that other linebacker, was it Carrington from the middle linebacker? We have a new pair to potentially go in the middle. Of course, we have Bobby Okereke, so we don't need a pair, but getting either one of those two linebackers could be huge. With what we know from the right outside linebackers, I think what we need to do is go quarterback, the tackle, and then Carrington as our focus scouts, which I will set that up, and then we'll get into the Broncos game. We are jumping into the second half of the Broncos game, where we were in control for much of the first half, despite the score being what it is. The Broncos just turned it on late in the second quarter and just flew back, got in front, and we were able to squeeze in a field goal right before halftime. So we find ourselves down 11 right now, with hopefully enough time to make a comeback here as they go for a screen pass, and Madden's broken again. Martinez was just doing the shuffle as Cook was running right by him on the screen pass, even though he read it very well. That'll get him down past, just a little bit, past midfield. Jimmy G is their quarterback. Dalvin Cook, their running back. And I feel like they have a couple good receivers out there, though I can't remember who they are. They might have, I think they have Njoku. Yep, Njoku is their tight end. And I can't remember who they all have at receiver. Of course, we still have some of our substitutions made, so not our best players out there, but our younger guys that we want to see a little bit of progression. Lowell there makes the tackle on pretty tight coverage, but not tight enough. They do get the catch and the first. As I do see a receiver for them that does have a superstar, and there it is, number 13. I want to say maybe Michael Thomas, if it'll give me a name. And yep, Michael Thomas. He'll get the 24-yard reception down to the 15. We'll come out with a double A-gap look here. They bring out a tight formation to match. First down from the 15. They'll go with a pass to the outside. Cook out of bounds at about the 9. And Garoppolo having a pretty good game. Over 250 with the majority of his passes completed. Cook has 4 catches for, I think he said 60-something yards. He has the ball there, and that is our rookie defensive tackle that got the tackle there. Can't remember, Hamilton, I want to say is his last name. Or no, Hightower. And that ball bounces right off the hands of number 6. That was a Debo on coverage, and they'll force a field goal kick here from the 6. 4th and inches, that is up. And That's good. We'll widen their lead back to 14 points, 2-touchdown advantage for the Broncos. And we will watch our first possession here on offense. Of course, we have rotated a little bit. Some of the linemen have been switched out for some of the younger guys. Walker Little in at left guard or possible right guard. One of the guard spots. As Christian McCaffrey still in just because Rashard Penny and Felton. They don't necessarily need to be out there. We don't have any young guys really. So McCaffrey will still play, and he's got the first down there. 11 rushes, 60 yards to this point. And then Ertz has been switched out for Parkinson, although all three of them are in right here as we go for a stretch play. We don't seal the edge. McCaffrey almost able to spin off the tackle and get back inside, but not able to stay on his feet. And then our receivers have been switched around a bit. On the outside is Generals, and then the other side is, can't remember what his name is. Rucker there on the in route. He's playing slot. He'll get the reception. Tobias something Tobias, I think, is the other rookie receiver that we have out there. And he's the big body guy. And then Schultz still the main tight end. So I think that's about all the changes that we've made on our offense. And they haven't really played any better, any worse than we had out there. So not sure if that's a good or bad thing. So we'll get a gain of 6 on first down. 2 receivers to the bottom. Actually, it looks like it might probably be 3 and then 1 up top. Go for another McCaffrey handoff. He's going to scoot forward for almost a first. Going to depend on the spot. And home field advantage comes in there. Gives us the first. And now we'll have 2 up top, 1 to the bottom. We go for a stretch. That's Penny, who gets by 1, gets by 2. He's going for a first, tries to cut in, can't get by 26. Forced out of bounds at the 33. Honestly, best run so far. And Tobias is the last name of the other receiver that we have out there. We'll stay out in that same formation here. I think maybe we switched sides or flipped sides. Can't remember. Another handoff. McCaffrey found a little bit of room there. Number 41 gets the tackle. That's Cunningham. I'll give us 2nd and 7 at the 30. 20-ish seconds remaining in the third quarter. Mills drops back, and he's going to find a wide-open McCaffrey who's into the end zone. Going to bring this game back to a touchdown advantage for the Broncos with basically just the fourth quarter remaining. That was a wide-open pass to McCaffrey. Nice job from Mills. And Jake Bailey will head out there for the PAT. This would make it a 7-point disadvantage for us with that made, and it is 27-20. And we'll jump into a little bit of a quicker sim here. First down pass thrown away, second down pass thrown away. On 3rd and 10, 17 yards, Michael Thomas. Who needs first and second down? Jimmy G rushes for 3 on this first. 2nd and 7, Dalvin Cook gets 5, 3rd and short. Incomplete pass thrown away. Defense gets the stop, I believe. Yes, they will punt. And they'll put us down deep. So we'll jump in here on offense. Starting at our 2, we will need to go 98 yards to tie this game up. Come out with a goal line formation. Even though we're not on the good goal line. Get forward for a gain of 3. They're actually going to be fairly favorable with that spot. We'll start that same formation. Have as many blockers out there as possible. Go again, Christian McCaffrey down the middle, who has a little bit of space, but not as much as the first down run. Gain of maybe 2. Or a gain of nothing. Definitely felt like we gained some yards on that play. We'll pass here on 3rd and 5, and instead we'll take the safety. No! Yep, take the safety. Mills. And with all the games we need to get through today, we'll go back to a little bit of a quicker sim here. 2nd and 8, 3 yards. 3rd and 5, 20 yards. You knew it had to be a big one coming up. 1st and 10, pass thrown away. Jimmy G thrown away again on 2nd down. 3rd and long, another throwaway. Defense gets the stop again. And once, okay, well, at least this time we got the touchback. We'll jump in on offense, see if we can do anything with this possession. Again, we're just trying to, well, no longer trying to tie the game. We're down 9. Forgot about this safety. Somehow that one's caught by McCaffrey, but I don't think for any sort of gain. Or at least not a good gain, only a gain of 2. I guess for some that could be a good gain. Empty set, go for a quick pass. Rucker gets the catch, maybe a gain of 3. And we'll go into the hurry-up offense with under 4 minutes remaining, down 9 points. And that pass thrown to absolutely nobody. And on 4th and 4, basically 4th and game, we will go for it. Got 2 receivers to the bottom. And not a good pass for Mills. That falls incomplete. Broncos will take over, and this game is basically over. I wasn't planning on watching it, but it decided that we didn't switch possession. So we'll watch at least the first play. Jimmy G, not completed. Lowell gets that one knocked free, and we'll head into a bit of a quicker sim. At the 26, they'll get a gain of 3 on 2nd down, 3rd and 7. Pass incomplete, thrown away. They will kick the field goal, even widening their already wide lead for at least this point in time. And on offense, first play, Junior Generals gain of 14, followed up by a throwaway. 2nd and 10, McCaffrey gets 6 yards. 3rd and 4, sack Will Graham. Be a loss of 3. 4th and 7, pass dropped by Will Tobias. And let's just hurry on up through this sim. And they will take the ball into, I believe, the end zone. They scored some amount of points. And this game basically over. We'll jump ahead to the end of the game, see if we could get any more points on the board. Nope, we will drop it 39-20. And they only had 2 wins on the season. And we haven't come within, I think, 20 points of tying a game against them. So definitely taking a step back this 3rd year, despite making a lot of progress, I feel like, with the teams overall and adding a lot of new players. Well, was hopeful that we would get a victory in that game, but it just got too far away from us. So what I'll do at this point is I'm just going to start simming. I'll get to the point of which there might be a game that we'll watch, in which case I'll stop simming. We'll go over what's happened in between now and then. That's the proper way of saying it. And then we'll jump into that game. But it's time to start simming and seeing if this team could pull something out of somewhere to get a 2nd win on the season. So I have simmed ahead. And we now find ourselves in week 18. We went up against a lot of teams that were just really good. A lot of them were sitting around 500, if not above 500. There was one game against the Bears that they had only 2 wins. And I went ahead and simmed it because a lot of the other games we've had against 2-win teams, we've gotten destroyed, and we dropped that one by 5. So we'll just run through these. As you can see, we have not won a game. We'll be finishing off and we will watch the Vikings game. They are 13-3 on the season, so I don't expect us to have a good game. But somehow, through all these losses, Davis Mills has actually gotten a dev boost up to a star. Somehow. And we did find out that Will Tobias, the rookie receiver, the 6'4" one, actually is a superstar dev guy. So really good that he got on the field. We did find out that Tresman Reed is only a star, so a little unfortunate. But we'll run through the stats quickly here for all these games. Davis Mills, 1 passing touchdown for around 200 yards. He was sacked 3 times. Christian McCaffrey, over 100. No touchdowns, though. It does look like Bodden did get 1 carry for no yards and a touchdown. So basically, I think McCaffrey did most of the work. Will Tobias led the team in the Texans game with 62 yards on 5 receptions. Junior Generals had 38 on 2. Christian McCaffrey 36 on 6. The only one to get into the end zone was Colby Parkinson with a 1-catch, 2-yard touchdown. Seems like we can only score from basically already in the end zone. Andre James, Cedric Bryant, and Theo Hayes each give up a sack. On defense, Bobby Okereke led us tackles by double. We had 2 tackles for loss, one by Blake Martinez and one by Nathan Gregory, who also had a sack. And he was the only one who had a sack. And we had no interceptions. Kicking-wise, all the extra points and field goals made by Jake Bailey, your MVP. We'll jump over to the next game. And that was against the Eagles, who destroyed us 38-13. Most of these games were not close, and Trey Lance was their quarterback. Davis Mills threw for a little over 2.25 and had 2 passing touchdowns, so decent game there. McCaffrey, 88 yards on 17 carries, no rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Junior General, 72 yards on 4. McCaffrey, 69 yards on 3 for a touchdown. Jelani Rucker, 56 yards on 4 receptions for a touchdown. Tobias, 20 yards on 3. And Schultz, 19 on 2. I had a hiccup there. No sacks given up for us, so really nice. Bobby Okereke led us with tackles again. Tackles for a loss, actually quite a few. Dakota Coleman, he had the option to get a dev boost, but he did not get enough, so no dev boost for him. But he had 2 tackles for a loss, and then Nathan Gregory, Tresman Reed, Roman Hightower, Michael Walker, and Tack McKinley. They each had a tackle for a loss, and then sacks, not a single one. Not good. And then no interceptions. Kicking wise, 1 extra point made, no field goal attempts. So, again, still, consistent for Bailey. Definitely our highest scorer. Then we went up against the Packers. And this was a close-ish game, 34-28. And in this game, again, Mills, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's playing a bit better, not as many interceptions, a little under 2,500. 2,500? Yeah. Passing yards. Christian McCaffrey goes for 130 and 2 touchdowns on 24 carries. And then Penny gets some and Mills a little bit as well. Receiving-wise, Dalton Schultz led the team, 82 yards on 9 catches for 1 touchdown. Will Tobias, 78 yards on 5 catches. Junior Generals gets in the end zone again with 39 yards on 4 catches. And McCaffrey, 25. Simi Fehoko gets out there a little bit. He gets 10, and Jelani Rucker gets 10 as well. Blocking-wise, went past it. Theo Hayes gives up 2. David DeCastro gives up 1. Defense, Fabian Monroe led us in tackles with 11. And then tackles for a loss, we had Tresman Reed and Roman Hightower, each with 1. And then 1 sack for Dakota Coleman. And any interceptions? Nope. Kicking-wise, 4 for 4 on extra points. No field goals for Jake Bailey. Then in the Bears game, we lost 33-28. And Mills had a really good game. I think this was the one that he actually got the dev boost on. 4 touchdowns, 276 yards, was sacked 3 times. Rushing, McCaffrey had 97 on 18, no touchdowns. Receiving, Junior Generals, 2 touchdowns. He's never done that in a game before. 2 touchdowns, 113 yards, 8 catches. Will Tobias, 77 yards on 6 receptions. Schultz, 29 on 3. Rucker, 29 on 2 and a touchdown. And then McCaffrey, 15 on 1. Keyshawn Johnson gets a touchdown, a 13-yard touchdown. And then DeCastro, Cedric Bryan, and Theo Hayes each give up a sack. Tackles, we were led, I don't know why I sorted there, led by Bobby Okereke with 11. Tackles for a loss, we have Jabari Lowell with 1. Tresman Reed, Dakota Coleman, Hufunga, and Tufele all have 1. And then sacks, I know we have at least 1. Just 1, Nathan Gregory, so he's getting some. I wouldn't say he's been super good this year, but he's been fairly consistent. And then Jake Bailey, another consistent, 4 for 4. Then in the Raiders game, again, came a little close. So the first handful were not close. The later half, we got a little bit closer. Started to get a little bit better, but again, we just keep falling short, just by a little bit here and there. Davis Mills, 3 touchdowns, 283 yards, sacked twice. Christian McCaffrey, 78 on 15, no rushing touchdowns. Will Tobias, 2 receiving touchdowns, 107 yards, 4 catches. Really good for him. Christian McCaffrey, 69 on 8. Dalton Schultz, 45 on 5 for a touchdown. Rucker, 34 on 3. Junior Generals, only 22 on 3. And then Bodden had 1 for 6. Blocking-wise, Cedric Bryan and Theo Hayes each give up a sack. We were led in tackles by Fabian Monroe. And then tackles for a loss, 2 for Roman Hightower, and then 1 for Justin Reed, Nathan Gregory, Dakota Coleman, Blake Martinez, and Tresman Reed. And then in terms of sacks, not a single one. Not good. We need to have at least a sack a game. No interceptions. And then 3 for 3 on extra points and 1 for 1 on field goals for Jake Bailey. Undoubtedly MVP of the season for sure. And then the last game before we jump into the final game against the Bills, we lose 30-24. Again, close, but no cigar. Mills, 2 touchdowns, 269 yards, no interception. So the second half really cut down on the interception, which is good, but doesn't mean that he's going to keep his starting spot. Christian McCaffrey rushes for 82 on 19 carries, no rushing touchdowns. Will Tobias, 60 receiving yards on 4 catches. Junior Generals, 59 on 4. Jelani Rucker gets in the end zone again on 50 yards, 3 catches. Dalton Schultz, 48 for 4. Christian McCaffrey, 36 on 2. Keyshawn Johnson had 1 catch for 13. And Parkinson gets in the end zone again on a 1-catch, 3-yard day. Up front for our line, Cedric Bryan gives up 2 sacks. On defense, led again by Bobby Okereke. Tackles for a loss. Tackles for a loss go to Fabian Monroe and Roman Hightower. And then sacks. Again, no sacks. And no interceptions. And then our guy, Jake Bailey, 1 for 1 on extra points and 3 for 3 on field goals. So some decent, good stats there, especially for some of our younger guys. And we'll end this season by jumping into the Vikings game, where our backup undrafted rookie quarterback will be getting the start. And welcome into the last week with your backup quarterback starting the number 23 wearing undrafted rookie who will complete his first pass to Schultz. Was an out route or some sort of route going towards the end. And obviously this is a bit of a battle of my series as Vikings versus my California only team. Granted, the Vikings are not the same team as the one we've constructed over on that series, but they do have Young Hoku, who we've obviously, well, I don't know if we've gotten to the offseason yet, so won't spoil too much, but last I checked, he is still on the roster. But will he make the roster? We'll find out. But we get a nice run there from Christian McCaffrey for the first down to the 41. And obviously this season, definitely the worst so far of the series. We've only won 1 game, and there's no way we're making our goal of 7 victories with this being the last and final game. But some good things have happened. We've seen the breakout from some of our young guys. We found out that Will Tobias is a superstar dev guy out at receiver, so he definitely needs to be seeing the field and might be taking any chance that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside has of making the starting rotation at receiver come next year. So definitely a lot to go through this next offseason to try to maximize our potential, as obviously the goal here is to win a Super Bowl within 5 seasons. And this is 3rd season, and we're definitely not getting it. So we only have 2 more seasons remaining, and time is definitely running out. On 2nd and 14, we'll come out empty set. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Go for another check down. Seems like Feldman has definitely been learning from Mills. And unfortunately, our center, Andre James, gets up a little gingerly after that play. Luckily, it doesn't look too serious, but in the meantime, Drew Dahlman will be coming in at center. He is our backup center. And we'll go for another pass here. This time, a great run, runs over a guy, and that's a gain of about 15 yards, 14 yards. That's something we've never seen before, and something Feldman really brings to the table. Mills can run a little bit. He just doesn't in Madden, so not much I could do in terms of getting him to run, but a great run there by a quarterback who wears 23. And obviously I could change his number to be an actual quarterback number, but where's the fun in that? So he'll stick with 23 as we'll run a stretch play to the weak side of the field and get a solid gain. 3 rushes, 32 yards so far for Christian McCaffrey. And there's Mike Zimmer still with the Vikings in this universe. And on 2nd and 3 from the 20, or slightly in front of the 20. We'll see what Feldman can do, and that's going to be find a wide open Rucker down to the 11. And as we saw with the stats from the game to game, I mean, he's been a solid slot receiver for us. Christian McCaffrey running down to the 4, possibly a little bit closer to the 3. Or right in between the two as we switch down to our goal line formation here. Bring out Rashard Penny, and no blocking down the middle. Easy tackle for number 98. That is Crosby. Tackle for a loss. 3rd and 7 from the 8. And on that 3rd and 7, we'll come out spread. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Bit of a hard count there for Feldman. He's going to drop back. He's going to scramble. He's heading to the outside. Will he turn up? Nope. He'll just run straight out of bounds at the 6, and we should be kicking another field goal. And that is Jake Bailey, our MVP, coming out. Can he put some points on the board? It's up, and it's through. Going to be 3 points on the board for us. I was looking over at the Vikings side. So used to looking over there. I'm like, wait, why didn't our 3 points come? That's because we're the Chargers. We're the Chargers. And Russell Wilson will lead the Vikings out on offense. Something I'm sure a lot of Vikings fans were hoping would happen come this offseason. Trade Kirk to Seattle. We get Russ. That could have been a crazy trade. Obviously did not happen. He went over to the Broncos and we extended Kirk. But there is a holding play on the first down. We'll back them up. 1st and 18 at the 11. We obviously had a really good job from our special teams on the kickoff to stop them inside the 20. They'll follow that flag with a run by Etienne Jr. for a gain of a few down to the 15. They'll come out spread, 2 to the top, I think 2 to the bottom as well. Russ will check down to Etienne Jr. Who's going to go off a little bit on the screen, get a gain of about 5 or 7, close to 5. And on 3rd and 8, they'll come out again, spread 3 up top. I believe, no, they have a tight end at the bottom. And they're going to go right for the slot and get the catch. And that was Fabian Monroe on the coverage, who definitely did not really have any awareness there. Ridley got the catch and the first down. And then they'll switch up, go for a weak formation here. Their fullback comes out to the right, and that's where they're going to follow behind. But great rush for us up front as we get a stop there from Tresman Reed in the backfield, loss of 2. And while I wouldn't say we've had any standouts, we've definitely had consistent play up front this year. We'll see that when we get to the offseason as Coleman gets straight through, gets a sack on Russ. That was 59, I think, Havenstrike, who had the flag at the beginning of this drive. He gives up the sack there. And to start the second quarter, they'll come out spread, empty set, 3rd and 21. 3 receivers to the bottom, 2 up top. Russ got to find someone, and he lofts it up for another completion. Fabian Monroe gave up another huge chunk, 31 yards to Ridley. That is 2 times on 3rd and long that we should have been off the field and have given up chunk plays. Granted, Russ has done that quite often to the Vikings, so fair enough to see him doing it here with the Vikings. And that was Nathan Gregory with the stop on the outside. We'll come in here, 3 receivers up top, tight end at the bottom. Go for another run. Martinez there to get the stop. He's going to be fighting for his starting spot if we're able to draft some of these middle linebackers that we have in this upcoming draft, because they look really good. Another 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. 1 receiver alone up top. Another 2 to the bottom. We'll see if they get another chunk play to Ridley here. They go across the middle in a pass breakup by Hufanga. Typically more of a box safety, but pretty decent coverage there, and that's what we've been working on all season long. And they'll bring out their field goal team, kicking from about the 45, so looking at a 55-yard field goal. This one is up, has the distance, and has the accuracy. He probably could have hit that from another 3, 4, maybe even 5 yards. That's Koo, who just rocketed that one through the uprights. And our offense will take the field for, I believe, only the 2nd time in this game, as we're already into the 2nd quarter. Feldman back there going to find a wide open Schultz, who will get about, well, going to depend on actually where they spot that. Yeah, they will give him forward progress to the 4. Wasn't sure with a broken tackle, or at least one guy kind of broken the tackle, if they would deduct yardage, but they don't. Empty set. We're going to roll out here with Feldman. He's going to scramble and bounce off of run CMC and not gain anything. Empty set on 3rd and 5. Bunch at the bottom, 2 up top. I believe Christian McCaffrey is in that bunch at the bottom. Feldman going to roll out, chuck this thing deep. And we almost had Junior Generals. I'm not going to lie, I am liking watching this offense a lot more with Feldman out there. He's just dynamic. He's running a little bit, and he threw a ball deep, something we never really saw from Mills. Unfortunately, not enough arm strength to get the ball all the way to Generals, who I believe had a step, but we'll see if our defense can keep it up here and get a stop for us. The Vikings will be starting at the 35 minutes remaining in the second quarter. They'll come out with a single back, 2 receivers up top, and go right down the middle. Etienne Jr. tackled by Bobby Okereke, gets a gain of 5. And still staying out a bit of a strong single back form. 2 tight ends and a receiver at the bottom. They'll fake the handoff, go with play action. And just not good enough coverage there from Adebo. He was on him, but he was not able to break it up. That'll be a completion to McLean, who is technically an eligible receiver for us to potentially maybe trade for. It was McLean versus Generals in not last draft, but the draft before, and we obviously went with Generals, and he had a great rookie year. Can't wait to see the stats from this year. But McLean also was a very talented guy. They just played some different styles. McLean is more of a slot guy, while General's a bit more of an outside guy. And on 2nd and 7, they got a lone receiver up top. That is McLean, I believe. 2 at the bottom. They'll go for a draw to Etienne. And we had a few guys there, but he just powered through. Unfortunately, I think Thuney may have got powered over. And he will head off the field here as they have a first down at least, so some good news for him. 2 receivers up top. They'll go for another handoff down the middle, and there's Martinez. He's really trying to make a statement in a lot of these watched games, saying, hey, even if you draft these other linebackers, you know you need me out there. And he's definitely making that an argument for sure. As a pretty good tackle there from Bobby to keep him from getting a first. We'll bring up 3rd and 1. And on 3rd and 1, they'll come out with a single back. Looks like they got doubles or twins up front or up top. They'll go for the pass, tight end, completion, first down. And there is the 2-minute warning. They're in striking range at about the 24-25 yard line. Of course, they have all 3 timeouts. And they have a kicker who could hit probably a 58, 60-yard field goal. So they have range. We're trying to get a rush in there. And just before we get there, a fantastic completion. And Nathan Gregory, our rookie linebacker, shaken up on the play. McLean had a huge catch over the sideline, dragging the toes. I mean, that's just what Russ does. And not a good sign. Hopefully nothing too serious, as Gregory will be heading into the offseason with an injury. But we do have a booth review on the catch. Definitely looked like a completion to me. But we'll give it a second look. Oh, actually not sure if that second foot came down. I'm not sure if it was already down when he first got the catch or not. We'll see what the ref says. And they say he dragged both feet. Will be a completion down to the 10. A fantastic play from Russ. A beautiful pass, especially under pressure as well. And they'll pass again here on first down. Going to drop it off to Etienne. We'll get down to about the 3. Maybe a little bit in front of the 3, but down to about the 3. 2nd and goal. 2 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. Handoff down the middle. We had 2 guys there. Tresman Reed slows him down, and Hufunga will get the tackle. 3rd and goal, just over a minute remaining. Fullback dive, our guy's right there. Does the reach get it? And it does. We do not get the edge there. They give it to the fullback. And no booth review. Touchdown good. We'll put them up 10-3 with the made PAT. And it's good. Of course, we know with the Viking series, Koo does not always hit those. Vikings go up by 7 with 1 minute and 9 seconds in the first half. And let's see if we could put some points on the board. 3 timeouts. in our pocket. Minute 4 seconds, starting at the 27. We're going to go for a screen pass. We have some blockers out front, and we just get magnetized to our lineman. I believe that was Drew Dolman who was out there. So, yeah, definitely have not had Andre James come back yet. We're going to roll out here. Feldman's going to get the first down. Keep going. Fight to about midfield, as we'll call it apparently our second timeout. I don't remember ever taking our first, but I guess I missed it. We definitely would have. Empty set, bunch up top. Quick pass to the outside. That's Generals, who dove out of bounds but lands inbounds. Clock will continue to go. So we're going to have 3 receivers to the bottom. Our tight end up top. And that's where we're going, our tight end, on a drag route down to about the 30. I'm sure we'll call our second timeout here. We're going to wait 10 seconds, waste 10 seconds, and then we'll call it. We will send Jake Bailey out at the 37, so about a 47-yard field goal. And that is up and off the bar. Oh, he has the leg power, but since he's technically listed as a punter, he doesn't have like full access to his abilities, is really what it seems like. So we're going to miss out on some points, as my voice almost gave out there. And I feel like a little bit of a glitch again happened there, where we do not have the kickoff. Instead, Vikings will start at the 38, so we'll just say really good kick return. Unfortunately, though, they do start with that being second down, so they lose a down in the process. I didn't notice that the last time this happened, but they'll come out, 3 receivers up top, and we're going to get a sack fumble. Unfortunately, not going to jump on it, but that is Tack McKinley getting back there, knocking it out. Bakhtiari, I believe that's who the tackle is, gets the fumble recovery, does not get the block, though. And we will start on offense at the 29. Empty set, Feldman at QB still, rocking that 2-3. And he's going to try to scramble, bounce off one of his linemen, cut back inside, a little shake and bake, and we'll slide down, avoid the hit, get a gain of 7 on first down. We'll change to a bit of a single back, kind of a little bit of a bunch, tight formation at the bottom. A nice cut there from McCaffrey will give us the first down. He's had 5 carries for 43 yards to this point. Now we'll come out 2 receivers to the top and bottom. Drop back. Feldman's going to toss it out. Going to get the completion. Broken tackle. Close to the first down. It's going to depend on the spot, and they're not going to give it to us, even though that ball is clearly past the line to gain. Be second and inches. Handoff down the middle, and we're going to lose a little bit. Third and inches definitely makes sense here, which it is, even though that ball did not move back whatsoever. Empty set on 3rd and inches. Quarterback draw? No. Quick pass. Schultz first down. Double trucking air and down to the 40. Or apparently 41. And with that fresh set of downs, we'll bring out the fullback. 2 tight ends. Lone receiver up top. Go for a stretch. Fight through 1 tackle. Get down to the 36. And I'll change it up a little bit. 2 receivers up top. Tight end down at the bottom. And a nice cut there from McCaffrey. Will get away from the free guy in the middle. Is that Kenny Clark, maybe? Either way, first down. Bunched at the bottom. Lone receiver up top is Will Tobias, the superstar receiver. We'll drop back with Feldman. We're going to go for 87, I believe. That is Johnson, maybe? Yep, Keyshawn Johnson. First catch for him, 10 yards. Getting a little bit of rotation out there. We'll stick out with that bunch form. Hand it off McCaffrey, who cut back a little late, but still has a little bit of running room. Gets close to another first down. If he could get another run for 6 yards, he'll be averaging 6 yards a rush, which would be nice. Empty set. Feldman down to the middle. Down to the 5 goes Schultz. Steady moving so far with our backup undrafted rookie quarterback. And again, bunch formation. We won't be handing this one off. And instead, Junior Generals finds himself in the end zone. Feldman with a passing touchdown. I believe his second, maybe, on the year. I know he had one in a simmed game. He'll get another one here today. Gonna hopefully tie this game 10-10 with a made PAT. And Jake Bailey's out there. Can he knock it home for us? It looks good, and it is good. And with us playing pretty well, I think we might just go ahead and watch the whole game here. Vikings come out in a tight formation. They're going to fake the handoff. Russ back to pass. Going to keep dropping back. Coleman's finally going to get there. Toss him down at the 10. That's a second sack on the day for Coleman. And on 2nd and 24, following the loss of 14, they'll come out. Look like 2 receivers at the bottom. They're going to hand it off instead. Tresman Reed will get the stop after a gain of a few. Which will bring up 3rd and long. Make sure Ridley and McLean don't get free on the outside. Russ drops back. Coleman's in to apply pressure. And I think he caught that. 4th and inches, though. A little bit of luck on our side, but that is another chunk play given up on 3rd and long. Just over a quarter remaining in this one. It is tied 10-10. We'll come out in a fullback ace formation, basically. Go right down the middle. Christian McCaffrey breaks 1 tackle and then gets brought down following a gain of about 5 yards. 10 rushes, 66 yards. Doing great on the day for Christian McCaffrey. We could just use a touchdown, but hopefully that will come in the 4th quarter, as that's where we're headed. And to start the 4th quarter, we'll come out 2nd and 5 at the 27. Only 8 minutes remain. Tied game. We're going to try to scramble with Feldman, but I don't know what happened there, but he got slingshot off the back of 2 of his linemen into the turf. That will be a sack for, I believe that maybe said Gross Matos. And on 3rd and 9, we'll come out with a tight form here. Looks like 2 receivers at the bottom. Nope, check that. We're switching formation. 3 receivers at the bottom, 1 receiver up top. And Feldman's going to find Junior Generals, who's close to the first, will fight for it and get the first. That'll be a solid gain down to the 34, a much-needed gain on 3rd and pretty decent for us. Following that first down, we'll come out empty set, bunch to the bottom. Feldman made a slight change right before the play, and he's going to find Christian McCaffrey for about 8 yards. Using McCaffrey in as many different ways as possible, Feldman 15 for 16 on the day, little over 100 yards and a touchdown. We'll go for the sprint out here. Does not work. Tackled by number 90 in the backfield. Loss of, I think, 2. Gross Matos making a play. On 3rd and 3, go back to that tight formation here. Got 2 receivers up top. Tight end and another receiver at the bottom. But we're going to find Rucker for the first down. Quick little curl route there will get the job done. And we'll change it up a little bit here. We'll spread out our receivers up top, but still keep that tight look at the bottom. We'll go for a run to the outside. Not able to get by number 29. They do a good job in contain there. I believe that's Fuller. Either Kyle or Kendall. Not sure which one. But either way, they got the tackle. 2nd and 11. Got 2 tight ends at the bottom. 2 receivers up top. And that's where we're running. Penny tries to run through 2 guys. He manages to shake 1 guy off, but not the other. And he's had 3 rushes for a negative 7 yards. So maybe don't use him. We got an empty set here on 3rd and 10. Feldman's going to roll out. He's going to need to scramble. He's just heading towards the sideline and slides down. And we're punting. Come on, Madden. Got to have a little bit better awareness here. That's a down. You got to go for it. Jake Bailey's going to boom this one, though. Unfortunately, booms it just about a yard or 2 too far, and they'll get the touchback. Russell Wilson and the Vikings will come out here with 3 minutes, 44 seconds remaining. Tied game in the 4th. They'll go for a run down the middle. Going to get it about 4 yards on the carry. And then they'll follow that up, staying out with a double tight end set, this time both to the top. Going to send their receiver in motion. That's McLean. And they're going to pass the ball here. Right down the middle, wide open Ridley down to about the 46. Russell Wilson, 10 of 12 for 153 yards on the day. No touchdown, though. Knock on wood. Now under 3 minutes remain. As they come out fullback and tight end, 2 receivers up top. Fake the handoff. Russ is going to keep dropping back. Finally, we'll release it, and we finally will break up a pass down the field. That's Hufanga making some plays in coverage today. And now they'll come out Twins to the bottom, single receiver up top. And on second down, they'll go for a run down the middle. We were there to slow him down and finally get the tackle. I believe he tripped a little bit. Won't necessarily say that was a tackle. It might have been a tackle by Lowell. Indeed, they do credit him with that tackle. 3rd and 7. They will set up the screen, and they have plenty of room to the outside. We'll get the first down and a couple extra. And on 1st and 10, my dog will bark, the other will growl, and they'll go for a tight formation. Quick pass to their tight end will gain solid 7-ish yards on the first down. And on 2nd and 2, strong pistol formation. And they're going to hand the ball off to Etienne, who has plenty of running room. Hufanga dives, not going to get there, and this is going to the house. Vikings take a late lead under 2 minutes remaining. The 30th career rushing touchdown for Etienne Jr. Chargers have 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining in their season to try to tie a game. And let's see if our backup undrafted rookie quarterback, the one wearing 2-3, can make a hero play. He's going to find McCaffrey on the first down pass. Get a gain of about 6 yards. Clock is ticking. Just over a minute. And a great play there made by 24 will put the nail in the coffin. Vikings go up 2 touchdowns with about a minute remaining. And we'll go ahead and sim this one on through. Just no luck there at the end. You saw what he was going for, but pass was jumped. A nice pick. Takes them to the house, and that will basically end this season for us. Get a nice completion there to Schultz. Rucker gets 16. We'll call a timeout. 15. Maybe another timeout? I guess not. Pass thrown away about 20 seconds. 15 yards, Dalton Schultz. And Will Tobias will get another touchdown on this season. But with 10 seconds and 1 timeout remaining, there's not really anything here. And plus, we don't even recover the onside. They'll go ahead and kneel this one out. They made it a good game. I will say I enjoyed watching Feldman play. Unfortunately, he did not get us the victory. The Vikings will move to 14-3 on the year, and hopefully for them, a Super Bowl appearance is in their future. But the players were head off the field, and we played better. In terms of yardage, we had about 50 more passing yards, about 40 more rushing yards. They just had that interception that ended up costing us that game. Obviously we could have tied it with Will Tobias getting that touchdown, but just was not in the cards for us today. And also Feldman was 88% completion percentage. Like, what? And with that loss, we will drop to 1-16 on the year, the worst season by far that we've had to this point. Hopefully next year will not be this bad, as we'll definitely be targeting that quarterback with our first pick, and I feel like that should help out a lot. So let's just go through a quick run through. Obviously 1-16 sounds really bad, but I feel like we also just had a lot of bad luck. And I'd like to count up how many of these games were just a one-possession game that we easily could have tied or even won. So definitely this last game. So we have 1 with the Vikings, 2 with the Bills, 3 with the Raiders, 4 with the Bears, and then 5 with the Packers. That was not winnable, not winnable, not winnable. 6 with the Raiders. Yeah, 6, 7. I forgot. Lost count. 7 with the Chiefs. 8 with the Bengals. 9 with the Lions. So we could have won 10 games, only losing 6, if we just had a smidgen more luck. And by luck, I mean less turnovers, primarily. So we were really close this year. Obviously, the end being 1-16 doesn't seem to show that. But the fact that we were within 1 possession of 9 of our games, that could drastically change and alter what the season would have come out as if we could have just threw 1 less interception that ended in a touchdown drive or a field goal drive or led to us getting a touchdown or a field goal instead. So while this season looked bad, and it definitely was, I don't think it was as bad as what the final overall wins and losses say. But we'll see all about that when we get to the next episode in this series, which will be the off season. Again, we'll go through all the free agents. I don't believe there's going to be very many at this point. There might be a few new ones, but not a lot. It'll primarily be the draft, and maybe we'll see if we can make some trades just to bring in a few other guys that are just going to continually be re-signed by the CPU at other teams. So all that will be the next episode. I hope you're enjoying this series. We're through 3 seasons. Again, we have to complete this challenge by the time we finish the 5th season. So we will have, hopefully, 2 seasons with a new quarterback to try to change this and try to flip 1-16 to 16-1. So to make sure you guys are seeing if we could do that, make sure you're hitting that subscription button below and ticking that bell notification. These will continue to come out every Saturday, and then the Vikings franchise are every Monday and Thursday. So make sure you guys are checking those ones out as well. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.